Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Peace be to you, my friends. Addiction is not your fault. We're so used to hearing that addiction is our fault. It's just the way the culture is. It's just the way that society is right now under this system that is very individualistic. But here's the thing, addiction is not your fault. Yes, and I'm all for leaving our bad habits and getting good habits, and I preach about that a lot. But we need to understand one thing, that addiction is a coping mechanism. A coping mechanism to what? We have emotional pain that we don't know how to deal with. We have a certain level of suffering that we don't know how to deal with. And so we turn to the addiction. We turn to that drug. We turn to that social media, screen hours, TV, food, drinks, cigarettes, or whatever we turn to, pornography. The list of addictions, the things that we can get addicted to are endless. But here's the thing, we have to understand that it is a coping mechanism. We don't know how to handle the pain that we're in, and so we turn to addictions. But there is hope. First, you have to ask yourself, not why the addiction. If you want to get over your addictions, you have to understand it. Why are you addicted? So don't ask why the addiction. Ask why the pain. You're addicted because you have emotional pain that you don't know how to deal with. And so you deal with it, you cope with it through the addiction. So ask yourself, not why the addiction, but why the pain? And just bring understanding and compassion to yourself. Maybe you've had trauma that you haven't dealt with, emotional pain that you haven't dealt with, maybe in your childhood years. Now, I'm not saying blame your parents for the trauma they inflicted on you, because even they had trauma that they didn't know how to deal with from their parents. It's just a product of the toxic culture that we live in. So go deep into yourself and ask why the pain, and bring understanding, bring light into it, bring awareness into it, and have compassion towards yourself. And then ask, is there any way I can deal with this pain in a better way, so that I don't turn to whatever I'm addicted to? Is there any way I can cope with this? Cope with this pain in a better way? And the answer is yes, there is. There are many ways. But I'll leave that up to you to find out. So just understand that just because this whole society, this whole culture is pointing at you, saying that you are addicted, it is your fault that you are addicted. It's just because the culture is toxic and it is hyper focused on the individual, on individualism. And so we see everything as starting from the individual and ending with the individual. That may be true in some cases, but not in this case. So addiction is not your fault. Bring understanding and compassion and light into your pain. See it through the eyes of understanding and compassion, and then ask, how do I cope with this in a better way that doesn't destroy me, harm me, or affect others negatively? Thank you for listening. That's my message. Also, if you like, I've got some books, fiction books that are good, and a coaching service. And if you want to support me and my channel, more information on all of that is in the description box below. I'm wishing you peace, love, and joy. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. Peace.